National Football League. The Eagles finished last season with the top-ranked rushing offense in the league and had high expectations heading into this season. They had Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Miles Sanders at running back. Sanders is feeling pretty good about his guys, telling CBS Sports, "Oh man, we all feel like we're on an all-star team. We feel unstoppable. I'm not gonna lie. I love Courtney's face right now."
Oh my goodness.
We welcome in Booger McFarland to have this conversation. And Booger, I'm going to start with you. So pretty high hopes. Do you think that this team is the best team in the NFC East?
No, I don't even think they think they're the best team in the NFC East. I think they're starting to listen to all the hype that everybody is saying, that this team is completely loaded. The offensive line is really good. The defensive line, I think, is going to be outstanding. They've made some upgrades at receiver. You bring in A.J. Brown to go along with Devontae Smith. But the key part is still going to be the quarterback and the continued improvement of Jalen Hurts. They're a really, really good football team. Are they the best team in the East in my book? No. I think that's the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys have the best quarterback in the division in Dak Prescott. And so I understand the hype. I also understand the time of year that it is, being late June. Everybody's feeling good about the 4th of July, like we're all happy. And, you know, when we get a microphone in our face, we feel like we can just expound and show everyone how good we feel about our team. But then reality is going to set in. And I think they have to understand that their success or lack thereof is going to be dependent upon Jalen Hurts and how much improvement he has this fall. So I love Miles Sanders. I love this young, this exuberant energy that the Philadelphia Eagles have. But someone needs to tell them that oftentimes history repeats itself. And let's remember the last time that an Eagle team or an Eagle player talked about being unstoppable or a dream team. Remember that, Mad Dog? Remember when Vince Young said dream team? Right. We saw how that worked out.
Yeah, that worked out to the tune of an 8-8 season and missing the playoffs. So I don't know why nobody warned Miles Sanders about those comments and maybe not trying to say those. But, I mean, the guy's got to be feeling pretty good about himself because, like Booger had mentioned, think about all the weapons they have on the outside. They finally have a true number one for Jalen Hurts. When they traded for A.J. Brown, you can pair him with Devontae Smith, the speed that you have from Quez Watkins. I mean, that's going to deter a lot of teams from thinking we're just going to load up the box for Miles Sanders and try to stop the run. I mean, there's so many different things that you have to do to contain this Philadelphia Eagles team, and I love the additions that they made in the draft on defense. I think that was huge. But it's all going to come down to the quarterback play. Do I think this is the best team in the NFC East? Yeah, for me, they have that designation. But it's all going to be dependent upon what do you get out of Jalen Hurts this year. They've done everything to set him up for success here and to find out, is this our franchise quarterback? Because if he has bad games, and especially bad games in a stretch, you know how the Philly sports fans are. He's going to be hearing about that, and that's going to be really tough to overcome. And, you know, this could potentially be the last year that we talk about him as a starting quarterback if that pans out. They have a very good roster. I would not go the lengths of calling it a dream team by any stretch. No matter how good you feel about your own personnel, it feels like those comments can set you up for failure and if you don't do anything but reach the Super Bowl. But they have a very good team, and I think it's probably the best team in the NFC East.
Listen, the quarterback you can't count on a quarterback. Tua took over his job at Alabama. He's not even a top 15 quarterback in the NFL. Let's call it like, at least he hasn't shown it yet. Let's call it like he was terrible against the Bucks in a playoff game. They have a good roster, and they're a borderline 9-8, 10-17. But this is not a big time team with that QB. I mean, I don't love Prescott either.
Not yet, right?
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to be great. I don't think all of a sudden we're going to wake up tomorrow and all of a sudden Jalen Hurts is some big time player. I love his competitiveness. He's the best kid in the world. I love when he came in off the bench against Georgia and orchestrated that win. He had a good year at Oklahoma. But this is not a big-time quarterback. Booger's 100% right. And I am not a huge Prescott fan. I think he's overrated too. But, I mean, Prescott is probably 11 or so on the quarterback chart. I mean, Hurts, is he what? The bottom three? He's 16 or 17 in the NFL? And that's being favorable. And you are not going to be a big-time team if you are not in the top 15 at the most important position in sports.
They did everything this season to set him up so he's in that
Let's
spot.
not bury the lead on this.
We can't judge that right now. That's my thing. I don't think that we can go ahead and say this is a dream team. This is a Super Bowl team. I need to see Jalen Hurts go out and do it.
Right.
They need to see Jalen Hurts go out and do that. Like the Miami Dolphins, the team you brought up with Tua, what did they do this offseason? They made every single move to make sure that that quarterback has every chance to be the guy that they thought he was when they passed over Justin Herbert and others to draft him. So I look at the same way with the Philadelphia Eagles. This is your chance, Jalen Hurts. We've given you every weapon imaginable.
Right,
we pulled off an incredible trade to get A.J. Brown to the Philadelphia Eagles in the draft. Now it's your chance to go out and prove it, and I think you cannot overstate enough. This was a middle-of-the-pack defense last year that lacked sacks and had some trouble pressuring the quarterback. They went in and they retooled that part of the defense, and I think that can only help a quarterback who's trying to figure it out in the NFL, put him in a good position to succeed this year. They have the 30th toughest schedule in the NFL. Everything's going to break the Philadelphia Eagles' way this year, and if they go anything less than 9-8, anything less than a first round win in the playoffs, then I'll be willing to go backtrack on that. But right now, I'm not.
Everything you said, Courtney, about the Eagles is spot on. I'm going to challenge Mad Dog because I think he kind of buried the lead there. You think that Dak Prescott is overrated? In what world, sir?
Absolutely. Booger. Come
How
on.
so?
Well, he's not a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. No way. If you look at the...
That's not what you said. No. You didn't say whether he was top 10.
Well,
you said he's overrated. Those were your words. Explain to me how he's overrated.
Well, first off, has he ever won a road playoff game in his career? Did he play well against San Francisco? Played poorly. I mean, he didn't play well against the Rams in the NFC second-round game a couple years ago. I just don't... I'm not a big believer. Listen, he's good, he's decent. But if you look at the quarterbacks in the NFL that can win a Super Bowl, I don't know if Prescott can do that. And I guess that, and I think because he's a
Let's not confuse.
Go ahead.
Let's not confuse accomplishments from a team standpoint with deciding whether or not the individual player is overrated. I remember last year in Tampa, first game of the season, Dak Prescott, Tom Brady on the same field. Who was the best player on the field? It was Dak Prescott. He was the best player on the field that night. Okay, so that showed me that Dak Prescott belongs in the upper echelon of quarterbacks in the National Football League. Now, sometimes when we get injured, we play a little bit differently or things don't affect us. But you cannot tell me that you didn't watch that game opening night. I think 36 million people watched that game. And you couldn't tell me Dak Prescott didn't belong in the upper echelon of quarterbacks. So when you say that this man is overrated, I think you might want to set back just a little bit, young man.
Well, hold on now, Booger. He was outplayed by Garoppolo. Garoppolo's not an upper echelon quarterback. He did not play well against San Francisco at all. Plus, he screwed up the clock at the end. He didn't realize with the scramble. He didn't know the rule with the whole thing with the judge. Well, he didn't know the rule.